Hi, in this video we are going to discuss one of the important technique, that is the hypothesis testing. Basically we are going to use this testing to assess the possibility of hypothesis from, from the sample data, and the sample data also we will get from the population data. It used In the hypothesis testing we have three stages. In the first stage, we are going to find the test statistic. It's based on the problem statement. Based on problem statement. Based on the problem statement, we are going to consider the test statistic. And the next step, we are going to consider the null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis by using the test statistic. Alternative hypothesis H1. These two we will consider based on the test statistic. And at the third stage we are going to find the p-value. Here the p-value is going to give the probability of observing if the null hypothesis is true. Probability. And basically we already know the p-value range from the 0 to 1. We will discuss this thing when we are going to the example to get more clarity. Okay, let's start an example. Let's consider a problem statement for that. There is two cities. We have to find the mean heights of the people in the two cities are same or not. I will once again repeat. There is a two cities. The mean heights of the people in the two cities are same or not. We are going to test by using the hypothesis testing. Two cities. We are consider C1 and C2. And this is a problem statement. As the first thing we have to get the data. Okay. For that we have to consider the sample data, because it is difficult to get the whole population data. That's why we are going to use the sample data. Let us consider the data C1 is sample data from the city 1 and C2 is the sample data from the C2. Here we are going to get the, let's consider we are taking 100 people and their heights. We are going to pick the people randomly. Then their heights like H1, H2, H100. And similarly from the city also we are going to pick the randomly, and their heights will be H1 dash, H2 dash, H3 dash and H4 dash. Okay. Now we will find the mean heights of the people. Mean heights of the people in these two cities. M1 is the mean heights of the people in the city C1. It was like H1 plus H2 H100 by 100. Similarly, mu2 is the mean heights of the people in the city 2. H1 dash, H2 dash, H100 dash by 100. For suppose let's consider 157 is the mean height of the people in the city C1, and for the second city we will consider 152. Yeah, and the difference in the height is mu1 minus mu2. Let's take like this, and we will get 157 minus 152. It's a 5. The mean height difference these two cities is 5 centimeters. Okay, let's consider as 5 centimeter. This is we observed by taking the samples data. By taking samples data we observed delta is mu1 minus mu2 is 5 centimeters. Okay. Now as a test statistic we are going to consider this one, that is observed thing. Actually test statistic, we are going to consider what we observed. Now in the second step we have to define the null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. As a null hypothesis, we will consider there is no difference in the mean heights of the people in these two cities. That means no difference in mean heights. As an alternative, we will consider the alternative to this one is there is a difference in the mean heights. Let us see why we consider null hypothesis as this one and alternative hypothesis as this one. Basically, if you want to tell there is no difference in the heights, we have to no need to consider other parameters. Okay. And if you want to tell there is a difference in the heights, we have to tell why the reasons, why the difference in the heights. Okay. It depends on many factors. That's why we are going to consider as an alternative hypothesis that one. In the third step, we are going to find the p-value. Okay. We are already see the definition of the what we are p-value indicate. It indicates the probability of observing if null hypothesis is true. What we observed is delta mu1 minus mu2. I will use different color. What we observe mu1 minus mu2 is equal to 5 we are observed, and if the null hypothesis is true, H0 is true. Okay, what it is telling actually, let's see that thing. It's telling what the p-value is telling. It defining the probability of the difference between the mean heights of the people in these two cities is 5 given null hypothesis. Null hypothesis is there is no difference in the mean heights of the people in these two cities. Okay, now let us find the p-value. That is computing the delta equal to 5 given h0. Here we already see the sample data C1. It's contain the samples H1, H2, H100, and C2 we have the people H1 dash to H100 dash, and the delta is mu1 minus mu2 is 5 centimeters. Now finding this the p-value, initially we will combine the all the samples. We just tell S contain H1, H2, H1 dash, H2 dash, H100 dash, and H1, H2, H100. We have 200 people's heights. We will take the samples S1, let's consider S1. Let's consider S1 sample S1 and also sample S2. In the sample S1 we are going to take the heights of the 100 people randomly from this sample. Okay, now H1 1, H1 2 like this, H1 100. Remaining 100 people we will take another subset H2 1, H2 2, S to 100. Similarly, we will take another subset. Next step, S1, S2. Here also same. H2 and H2 S2 100. Now here we will take once again the mean heights. For suppose here we got mu 1 and mu 1 2. Similarly here also we will get mu 2 1, mu 2 2. Similarly, for suppose let's take 100, let's take 1000 here. Similarly we will get mu 1001, mu 1002. We will get the difference. Let's take delta 1 as that one is a mu 1 minus mu 1 2. Okay. Similarly delta 2 is mu 2 1 minus mu 2 2. That's the mean heights difference. Similarly for 1000 subset things we will get del 1000 mu 1001 mu 1002. Now we have the del value is 5 and also delta 1, delta 2, delta 3. Similarly delta 1000 values we have. Now we will also place this delta value in this delta values. Now total we have 1001 points are there. We will sort this all the points. Now we will get del 1 dash, del 2 dash, del 3 dash. Similarly somewhere we will get delta and finally we will get 1000 delta dash. Here the p-value is the percentile value that we get between these delta and del 1000 value. That means the number of points we are going to get between these two values, that is the percentile value actually. Okay, if if 30 points are there, then we can tell the p-value is 0.03. If the 100 points are there, then the p-value is going to 0.1. If between these 2 points, if 200 is there, then it's going to be 0.2. Like this, based on the number of points between these two values, it is actually p-value. Okay, we also call this value as percentile value. Okay, the percentile means we will get the percentage. Okay, we will convert that one into p-value. That is the thing. Here if we get the p-value as higher, closer to the one, will tell it's more evidence to the null hypothesis. If we for example p-value is del equal to 5 and if we get 0.8 like this, it tells it is more evidence to the null hypothesis. That means we accept the null hypothesis. If we get like 0.05 like that, that means there is very less probability that happen to null hypothesis true. That means at the time we are reject the null hypothesis, accept the alternative hypothesis. Reject the null hypothesis and accept alternative hypothesis. This is all the things. Okay. Now we will connect with the confidence interval and the hypothesis testing to get some more clarity about that. We will make one more problem about that one. This is the problem statement the related to confidence interval and null hypothesis. For suppose 90% confidence interval of mean found between the interval 13.1 26.4. What would be the result of test if null hypothesis this one and alternative hypothesis this one? Null hypothesis testing the mean value is 25 and alternative hypothesis giving the mean value is not equal to 25 at the alpha value 0.10. Here we have the given alpha value 0.10. It indicates the 90% confidence interval. It indicates 90% confidence interval. Okay, and also we have they given the confidence interval range. The confidence interval range they given is 13.1 26.4. Between these range we have the value of mean. That means we will accept null hypothesis. If the value is not lies between these two, this range, at the time we reject null hypothesis, we accept the alternative hypothesis. That is the all the things about the hypothesis testing.